One of the options I was given was that I should be put in a bottle and thrown into the sea for 7 days. After that, I can get anything I want in politics. Another option I was given was that all the four-way drives around my federal constituencies, that they made sacrifices with blood.
Another episode of What is Trending. My name is Angelo and this is Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. I have updates that would, updates that will keep you surprised, and this would keep you shocked. I think you will give me applause after these updates. First of all, now there is an expose, or there is an exposition on the ritual dealings and the illicit diabolic dealings of politicians in Nigeria. One of these politicians has come out to expose all or most of the politicians that partake in diabolic dealings in aiming for the top, especially as it regards to politics. Then I also have an answer to a question, because lots of our viewers have been asking us to give them an overview, a general overview on what conspired during the tribunal at the Court of Appeal, talking about the petition by the Labour Party especially, and then what is going on, the story so far, and so on. Although I have done that most times, but I have a particular legal practitioner who has this explained so extensively. So don't touch that dial. Yes, first on the update, I have a barrister Ben Chuka Nwosu, a member of the Labour Party legal team at the tribunal, has also taken his time to explain to Nigerians all that has conspired in court over time, especially during the last court session. He explained in a layman's terms so everybody can understand the whole proceedings and the way everything should go. And this could go a long way in helping Nigerians understand where the tribunal ended proceedings at the last day. And also, he has helped us have first-hand information of all the details in court till date and subsequent court hearing days. Without much ado, I'll give you a brief cutaway from that particular documentary. I'll call it a documentary because we asked for it, and here it is. So watch Barrister Ben Chuka talk.
Permit me to be happy because the gentleman's evidence was unimpeachable. It was such that none of the senior counsel for INEC and for Tinubu Shetima and for APC, despite very serious skills in their cross-examination. By the way, some of their lawyers are the best in the country, but they were not able to impugn the Labour Party witness, PW8, who has a doctorate in cybersecurity. He answered them in such a way that nobody was left in doubt that he's truly an expert. Just like the Amazon Web Services witness before him. We were so impressed. I am personally very elated about the outcome of it, and I am convinced beyond reasonable doubt that his evidence will be very worth it. And when we tried to ask him whether his boss was aware that he was coming to give evidence, then he gave his evidence in his official capacity as the managing director of the NITDA, and in any event that his boss was aware that he was in court and gave his consent for him to come and give evidence. What happened was that most of the lawyers of the first, second, and third respondents actually found the contents of these witnesses that we are calling now too technical to even make intelligent questions out of them. So their evidence relating to cyber technology and cyber science, which many people are not very competent and familiar with. we moved into where I believe obedience have been worried, and that is whether all the documents that have gone in, which constitute at least 3 or 4 Hilux loads of evidence that we put in, whether they were going to be said that they were dumped because that no witnesses were called to tender them. We took them by surprise today. And all from EC8As, B, C, D, E, were all tendered today. So our own amiable and very, very brilliant Dr. Yunus Atanko was very brilliant, and I was his political dexterity showed in the way he tendered those documents. Like I said, from EC8A, B, C, D, to E in all the states. That was why all those containers were all brought to court. So he identified them because they had already been tendered. So he had identified them and confirmed that they were the results as we got there from INEC. We are able to give the kind of evidence that mesmerized the courts, mesmerized the respondents and their lawyers. So I'm very, very happy. We are going to conclude, subject to what the court says. The next step will be for INEC to commence their defense of the hist that they committed in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, denying the populace the choice of their leaders. They will let us know what their defense is. And we have lined up some of the best lawyers in cross-examination, waiting for any of their witnesses and their documents to come in. When they finish, it will be the turn of Tinubu Shetima and their team of lawyers to open their defense, to tell us how they metamorphosed from 6 states to winning the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the presidential election. Everybody will hear it, and our team of lawyers will also take them up on cross-examination. When they close, it will be the turn of APC. When all of us finish, it will be the time to submit final written addresses and then present them to court, adopt those as the final written addresses and arguments concerning the presidential election petition 2023, at the end of which the judges will retire and go and do a lot of work and come up with what we hope to be a thunderbolt of a judgment.
Okay, I hope you've heard that there. You got it straight from him, and I don't think what he said there needs an explanation. That is an overview of what conspired during the first, during the last, and then 3 days to the last, and 2 days to the last day of proceedings at the Court of Appeal, talking about the petitions tabled or the petitions submitted by the Labour Party against the APC and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. That is that on that particular update. I hope those viewers of ours that have been asking for a sort of explanation and a sort of documentary on everything that has happened, you've listened to Barrister Ben Chukamosu explain everything. So stay tuned for July 3rd when INEC and the APC and also the counsel to Shetima and Asiwaju would also have their time to respond to all these allegations. That is that on that particular update. Now to the subject matter I was telling you about. A politician has come out to expose lots of ritual movements, ritual dealings and ventures, diabolical stuff and spiritual diabolical things that these politicians do in order to pave their ways to the top. This will shock you. And this politician is a present serving politician. Let me give you the update. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, you're surprised, right? Benjamin Carlo, representing Bende Federal Constituency in Abia State, has exposed variety of rituals and illicit spiritual ventures undertaken by lots of Nigerian politicians today. He made this expose during a testimony service in church last week, and he confessed lots of rituals that will shock you. Without much ado, I think I have that cut away from his church, and I will allow you to watch that video for the purpose of reference and for knowledge's sake. Of course, the Englishman says, hence the adage, no knowledge is the worst. So watch this particular video that has the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps actually expose lots of things.
One of the options I was given was that I should be put in a bottle and thrown into the sea for 7 days. After that, I can get anything I want in politics. Guess what my answer was? I said no. Another option I was given was that all the four-way drives around my federal constituencies, that they made sacrifices with blood. And that for me to be able to counter that, I needed to make another sacrifice with blood. And I said, no. And they said, if you cannot do human blood, you can do blood of animals and not the rest of them. Guess what my answer was? No. Because the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Okay? Against principalities, against powers and the rulers of the darkness of this world. And consistency is the key. But you see, for you to be able to climb to the next level, I needed a particular spiritual frequency to tune into it, an atmosphere that will help deliver that. What the pastor was saying today was exactly what motivated me to reach out to him. Before then, when I was in government house, your pastor was not jobless before he joined the ministry. I want to make it clear that he was working with the United Nations. So we were always engaging at the government house. And we had already started partnering on, spiritually on business, which was moving well. But I never for once mentioned to him about my politics and what I intended to do. One day when I was praying, God said, do you have a prophet in this land? I said, yes. He said, who? I said, Pastor Jerry Eze. He said, do you believe in his prophecy? I said, yes. God now said, can I do a thing in the land where my prophets are without letting them know? And I said, no. He said, reach out to him. I picked up the phone and I called him. I said, we are from the same place. We are here. The territory God is telling me has been handed over to you, just like what he's preaching today about territorial dominion. I said, I have been toiling on my own, this is about 17 years now, of wanting to go to the House of Representatives. And I spoke to him and said, God told me the territory is under you. Are you going to keep quiet, or are you going to do something about you have bent the federal constituency and Abia State? He said, as God was speaking to you, God was speaking to me. I have raised an altar. And I won the election in 2019. After that, the storm came, but he said the crown will stay. So during the tribunal, it was victory. The appeal, it was victory. But you remember what the Bible says, that those that wait upon the Lord, the Bible says that in Isaiah chapter 40, I think it's about 431. It says, those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount on their wings like eagle. They shall run and they shall not be. So when I got to House of Rep, it wasn't just about winning the election. God gave me the speed that moved me from obscurity to visibility.
Wow, I'm shocked. I would say I'm quite shocked to place someone in a bottle, throw him in the sea, and so on. What if the person doesn't come out finally? Or what if the sea flows away with the bottle? What happens? Okay, well, that is to tell you that how bad such diabolical means are. Okay, because I know so much that the God in heaven doesn't give space for these conditions before you make it to the top. So we all should please follow the right means, especially as we pave our way politically. That is that on that particular update. I am still shocked about what the lawmaker said there. But that is just a tip of the iceberg of what lots of Nigerian politicians do. Lots of updates after this one. And finally, Nigerians have been admonished over stigmatization and discrimination of drug addicts. This call was made by the federal government in collaboration with the Ministry of Health during the ministerial briefing on this year's World Drug Day. Watch this.
This is a human being. Before we now say this person, is someone who uses drugs. Before he started using drugs, he was a human being. right now that he's using drugs, he's still a human being. And even if he agrees now or later to come into treatment, he's still a human being.
Despite this achievement so far, for Nigeria to realize the full impact of this effort, stopping stigmatization and discrimination while strengthening prevention, all stakeholders need to adequately consider the following steps. 1. Raise awareness about the negative impact of stigma and discrimination on people who use drugs and their families. Review the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to recognize drug use and drug use disorder as a public health problem. Raise awareness about the HIV/AIDS and hepatitis epidemics among people who use drugs. Empower young people and communities with evidence-based information to prevent drug use and addiction. Improve surveillance and enforcement of controlled medicines laws, regulations, and policies to curb the non-medical use of controlled medicines in Nigeria. And as long as we take it as someone else's problem, we will not get to the end of it. Why am I saying this? Drug abuse, as we all know, there's no family here that will say you do not have one person in your family, whether your child, your cousin, your nephew, your niece, there's somebody in your family that is involved in it. And the earlier we all join hands to ensure that we might not bring an end, reduce it to the barest minimum, the better for our society.
People have been asking, do we only, or is it only stopped, or is it only abhorred not to stigmatize people who are living with HIV/AIDS and other big or other very, very dangerous illnesses or ailments? Well, the Ministry of Health has cleared the air on that particular issue. You're not only asked to discriminate over people who are living with lots of sicknesses or lots of ailments. You are asked now not to discriminate against people who are drug addicts because they are on course of rehabilitation, especially as said by the spokesperson there. Hence, the reason why you should bring them closer to us as family. You see some families, when their own relations are caught up in a sort of drug addiction case or a sort of case that needs quick rehabilitation, they quickly draw off or disassociate themselves from these people. That is not right. For the records, please stop discriminating or stop stigmatizing people who are drug addicts, because this wasn't really their plan to be drug addicts in life. Thank you for paying attention with our updates. I hope you keep a date with us in my next video. See you next time. Bye.